I'm one of the instructors at the Everyday Counts program, and my name is Tony. I'm glad you're joining me here for an hour of chair yoga. So, wherever you are, whatever time of day or night it is, make sure that you have a sturdy chair. And I'm going to sit back on my chair behind me and we'll get going. Thank you for joining me. So, welcome to chair yoga. I'm going to ask you to make sure that your chair is a comfortable chair that above all else feels stable for you. So if you wiggle from side to side, you don't feel like you're going to fall off the chair. And if you have wheels on your chair, please, if you have the opportunity to lock those, that can be helpful so we're not sliding all over the place, so you feel like you can ground a little bit, and again, above all else, feel quite safe and stable. Root down through your feet, and wherever it is that your feet are touching, whether it's the plates of your wheelchair or if it's on the earth or somewhere else, if you're feeling like you need to reach for the floor, then you can put something underneath your feet. Make sure it's even either side, whether that's some kind of like really padded firm blanket that you'd like to, you can do something like that. You can also, if you feel like your limbs are a little bit longer in the chair you are on, you feel a little bit crunched up in it, you can put something underneath your seat to lift you up so the ground feels a little bit further away, so you can feel a bit more comfortable. Generally, feet around about a hip distance, and if it feels comfortable to you to have your knees over your ankles, that's a great place to be. If you're feeling a little unstable, you can take your feet a little forward of your knees, and that means you can use your feet to push back a little bit, and sometimes that feels a bit more stable. If you need the support of the back of your chair, take it. Otherwise, I encourage you to come forward a little bit. That way, we already start to allow the center of the body to already hold us up rather than relying on the back of the chair. So you come to a place where you feel comfortable and you feel like you can hang out there as we get into the breath. So we root down through those feet, whatever they're on. Whatever you're seated on, we root down through our seat. You can wiggle from side to side and feel the pelvis heavy in whatever it is that you're sitting on. And then from there, there's a rooting down to lift through the spine. It's almost like we get just a little bit taller. The collarbones fall wide, shoulders soft and open, hands supported wherever they're comfortable for you. And the crown of the head is reaching upwards. If you notice that you're leaning forward somewhat, you could consider drawing your shoulders back, head in line with your shoulders, over your pelvis. And that already can feel, for some of us, like we're already engaging our lower belly, just drawing our shoulders back over our hips. Again, whatever you do in this class, make it comfortable for you. So you don't have to follow along with everything I'm saying. Adapt and adjust anything to make it comfortable in your body and sustainable. From there, we'll take a full breath in. Exhale it out. We're going to take a couple of those, so 3 more in your own time. Even closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Letting go on the exhale. Last one. And then from there, we let the breath come back to its natural rhythm. And that'll be different for each of us. And we start to get a sense of us in this moment. So just simply by feeling where your body is. We get that earth underneath us, under our seat. We have that support. And then that space around this, just get a sense of that space. And again, I'm not going to move, so you're welcome to close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if there are lots of emotions or thoughts that are going around in your mind, in your heart today. Notice the felt experience of your body in this moment, just simply meaning sensations. And if nothing arises, you can feel the sensation of your feet rooting down on the floor, the texture underneath you, whether you have shoes on, socks on, or whether you have bare feet, you can still feel that connection down. And the same thing under your seat, whether the seat is slightly padded or if it's harder or softer. Is there anywhere in your body that feels tight, that feels like it has a whole lot of tension in it? If there is, allow that to soften. You can even move around anywhere that does feel tight, especially the lower back, the belly, the upper shoulders, the neck. And just make some movements to feel a little more easy wherever you are if there is discomfort. And then we start to notice the breath, just the simple breath as it is. If it's comfortable for you, starting to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. What this does is it lengthens the breath just a little bit. If that feels like it's uncomfortable for you, you're not simply being able to get enough air, just come back to an easy breath, whatever that means for you. And then we start to deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. So allow the breaths, little bits by little bits, to get a little deeper and a little longer. An allowing of the breath to get deeper and longer rather than a forcing. And from there we steady the breath out. So that full inhale becomes as smooth as possible, and the same for that exhale. So it's almost like the breath starts to glide in and out. And if there are jumpy parts to the breath that feel super jagged, no problem. You just do your best. It doesn't mean that it has to be perfect. We're just trying to smooth our breath out as best as we can. And we'll keep that breath, but I want you to do about 5 or 10% less effort. And if any tension is gathered anywhere in your body, soften through that. So it's almost like a little melting of the outside edges of your body. A softening through the breath. And here we are. All these longer, smoother, softer inhales and exhales. If you would like a visual for the breath, you can imagine like a little tiny dot of light or a thread of light, if you like, just lingering outside of your nose. And on the inhale, as the breath draws in, imagine that light drawing in and down into your lungs, maybe even down into your belly. And then just as slowly and softly out it comes on the exhale. And so that little tiny dot of light can be any color you like. And it travels down on the inhale. And then it comes all the way out. And it's just a way of smoothing out the breath. And if it doesn't work for you, that little dot of light, you can imagine like a little cloud cloud of color, whatever color you like. Maybe if you want to invoke a certain quality like calm or quiet, you could put a color to that little cloud and imagine that you're breathing it in and it's filling up your lungs. And on the exhale, out it comes. And so we've got that little cloud of air coming in and down and up and out. And if you're not visual, then simply steady the breath, that steady, smooth breath in and out. This is the breath we'll keep for the rest of the practice. I'll keep reminding you to come back to it. And at any time, if things get a little challenging, come back to stillness and reconnect with this smooth and steady breath, that maybe that cloud of breath or that little light coming down and back out. Rooting down through your feet. You can even spread those toes wide if you like. Rooting down through our seat, really sitting deeply into that support and lifting from there. We've got the same breath. We're going to take our hands to the side. We're going to start to circle the wrists in one direction. Easy movements. Don't worry about a right or wrong here. There's no right or wrong way of moving. We're just moving with our body. And then on the exhale, we're going to pause and we're going to take those circles around in a different direction. Keep it easy. The movement's blending with the breath. And then when you're ready, or at the end of your next exhale, we're going to pause and take the right hand down. I'm simply going to mirror you here. Palm turns up, bending from the elbow. We inhale up, palm turns down on the exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. The hand being an expression of the breath. The inhale lifts the fingers, the exhale draws it down. This is in your own time, your own breath length. So you don't need to measure your breath with my movements. Again, this is your practice. You get to decide. You can start to move from the shoulder if that feels comfortable for you. Keep the joints easy. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers and thumbs flowing. And you can keep the hand wherever it's comfortable. If you want to add on, you can start to allow that hand to come as high as it feels comfortable in your body, but the joints are still easy and soft. If it feels comfortable for you and you'd like to add on, you can start to reach a little bit through the joints as they get a little more stable, noticing how that feels. If it doesn't feel right, come back to whatever feels easy. If your arm is overhead, you can start to take that arm over towards the left if you like. If this feels comfortable and stable for you, then you can stay there. Left hand can also always take the chair for support on the left side as your body weight starts to come over towards the left. But again, this is your movement. You can rest at any time, otherwise another 3. The breath is still guiding your movement. So the inhale, still lifting, and the exhale, steady and smooth down. We have one more unless you're already in stillness. The next time that right hand comes down, it comes onto the thigh or a comfortable place for you. Left palm turns out, bending from the elbow, the inhale up, the exhale, the palm turns down. Inhaling and exhaling. Make this your own, and this side may feel very different. If you'd like to stay here, you can, while starting to move from the shoulder. Don't be in a rush to get to the furthest place. So this is a felt experience of the movement. Joints are soft. Noticing, being honest with yourself about how this feels. And if it feels better to do less, do less. Yoga is not about more is better. You can start to reach through the joints if that feels good for you. That means the arm sweeps a little bit further away. If that doesn't feel good, no need to do it. Option to take that left hand over towards the right, and that right hand can find stability on the chair if you like that support. Inhaling, still guiding the fingertips up. Exhaling for the entire exhale as the fingers come down. Nicely done. You have another 3 here. You can always rest. Finding a little bit of length on that left side, wherever it is that you are. I'm getting a little more warmth through the shoulders. We have 1 more here, unless you're already in stillness. And when those fingertips come all the way down, they're going to stay. Bring your hands back to your thighs or wherever's comfortable for you. On the inhale, you're going to draw both shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, rolling them down. And your hands can be anywhere. Don't worry about those. The focus is on the shoulders here. Controlled range of motion. So it is a slow movement. The inhale lifts, the exhale draws down, going in one direction. Breath is always guiding the movement. And at the end of the next exhale, we pause and take that round in the opposite direction. That little cloud of breath coming in and down, up and out. All that little tiny seed of light. And at the end of the exhale, we pause, take the hands back to wherever it's comfortable. And from here, we root to rise, so there's still this lifting in the upper body. And then from there, we're going to take the nose over towards the right side. This is the exhale. On the inhale, you're going to lift that chin up and over towards the left. Inhale, lifting up, over towards the right. And again, adjust this movement to feel better in your body. So if it feels better doing a little less, do less. If it feels good for you, exaggerating that movement, you can do that too. This is your practice. If it doesn't feel good to you and another movement arises, go ahead. This is your practice. On the next exhale, wherever you are, this is going to be the next inhale. We're going to rest here. And the exhale, we're going to draw the chin down towards the chest and up towards the left, or the opposite. Down on the exhale, inhale up. It's almost like we're tracing a smile with the tip of our nose. And that can be a big movement, it can be a small movement. Steady and smooth with the breath. Melt the movement with the breath. And the next exhale, you come to in your own time. We're going to draw the chin down. This is the exhale. On the inhale, we're going to lift up with the chin. Exhale down. Make this movement your own. Changing and adapting the size of the movement to feel better for you. Our spine is completely still here, just moving in through the neck. And the next time we inhale up, we'll simply come to center. And if there's any movement you want to do in your body, go ahead for it to feel easy and comfortable. That steady, smooth breath is still there. You can still imagine that puff of air coming in and down, exhaling up and out, or whatever visual works for you. Hands on the thighs. If you are sitting into the back of your chair, I encourage you to come forward now, even if it's just a little centimeter. That way we have a little bit more opportunity to move through the spine. Seated cat and cow. If you already know what you're doing, go ahead. On the inhale, we draw the heels of the hands back. We lift the heart through as the elbows come back, shoulder blades come back towards each other. The whole front body is wide. On the exhale, we slide the fingertips towards or on the knee, and we round the belly button back in towards the spine, rounding the spine. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. On the inhale, we draw forward, and you can see there's a arch in my back, and I draw the elbows back, shoulder blades come back. Wide front body. On the exhale, fingertips towards the knees, and we round. Inhale and exhale. So this is cat pose, like an angry cat. We would do this on our hands and knees if we weren't doing chair. And on the inhale is a cow pose, like a sway back. So only as much or as little movement as feels comfortable in your body. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We're just figuring out how the breath can stay steady as the movement is also smooth. You can bring your chin in, up on the inhale, exhale, chin in towards the chest, getting into the back of your neck if you'd like. We can also slide the pelvis forward on the inhale and then rock onto the back of the pelvis as we round through the spine. Extension on the inhale, flexion on the exhale. And again, this will look different for each and every one of us. On the inhale, you could consider imagining dragging your heels back as the heart and the belly comes forward. And on the exhale, you can push your feet away from you to get that extra movement through the back body. Notice where you feel this in your spine, back body, front body, hips, shoulders, head and neck. Always adjusting to what feels comfortable. Stay for one more exhale, and you're always welcome to do less or more. And we come to center. Rooting to rise. Coming into a little twist now. So we're going to take the arms up in a cactus. Option for you is to take the elbows down, especially if you're feeling fatigue in the shoulders, or elbows can come up shoulder height, palms towards me. Hips, knees, ankles, all facing forward, all staying there. Come back to the breath, that puff of breath in and out. This is the inhale. We're going to start with the right hand. On the exhale, we're going to take the right hand towards the left shoulder. Inhaling wide, exhaling over. And we're making sure that everything from the pelvis down is steady and smooth. So we're starting to feel maybe something over this right shoulder, inhaling and exhaling. Option number 2 is to take that palm towards the left elbow. And if it feels hard getting there, bring the left elbow forward. It'll make it a little easier for you. Or if you're challenging yourself, you can bring that elbow back. But make sure that as you're drawing across the body, the right hip isn't coming with you and really rooting down through the pelvis. Option number 3 is to take the palm towards or onto the left palm. And we're getting a twist in the spine from the pelvis up. So again, making sure the right sit bone is not lifting. Got another 3 here, wherever you are. And if you're not quite sure what's comfortable for you, check it out and explore what feels better in your body. The next time we come to an inhale, we'll stay here. On the exhale, now we're going to take those palms down. So we're just rotating from the shoulder here. Inhaling up. Shoulder blades may feel like they're coming together. And on the exhale, the shoulder blades get wide. And elbows can be up or down. Don't worry about the trajectory of your lower arms. Just pivoting, inhaling and exhaling, noticing how that feels in your shoulders. Next inhale, here we are. If you need to take a break in the shoulders, you can pause this, take a break. Otherwise, we steady with the breaths. This is the inhale. On the exhale, left hand, right shoulder. Hips, knees and ankles facing forward. And remember, wherever we are on this side, you can always bring that right arm forward somewhat, to find an easier place to connect to. Option number 2 on an exhale is to take that left hand to the right elbow. See if you can keep that right arm as stable as you can, even if it means bringing it forward so it's easier to meet, but we're really isolating into that left shoulder. Option number 3 is to bring the left hand towards the right. It does not have to get there, or you can bring that right palm forward. Where are you feeling this? Inhaling and exhaling. Take a break if you need to take a break. That inhale, the shoulder blades come towards each other. We've got that wide front body. One more in your own time. We're going to open wide on the inhale. On the exhale, we're going to rotate the palms behind you and the fingertips down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Slow and steady. I know you just want to drop your arms. And if that's better for you, then go ahead. Otherwise, one more breath. This is the inhale. On the exhale, we take it down. Inhale one more time. And then we'll take those hands beside us. Imagine you've got mason jars there. We're going to open and close those mason jars all the way from the shoulders. Not just from the lower arms, but from the shoulders. So it's that wide open front chest and back body. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice. And then from there, we're going to dangle those hands down. Rooting through the feet, rooting through the seat, lifting from there. We're going to get those hands nice and heavy so your shoulders are simply limp, a little bit like a rag doll. Shoulders come back over the hips if they're not there already. This is the inhale. On the exhale, those right fingertips get a little heavier as we come to the right. Inhaling up, exhaling to the left. It's not a very big movement. And imagine you've got a wall behind you, so the back of your pelvis, the back of your shoulders, and your head are resting on a wall, and you can just slide from side to side. You're going to have a little less movement than if you come forward, but we'll isolate into the side body, inhaling and exhaling. Once again, making sure our pelvis is rooted down, that when we don't come to one side, the other opposite hip lifts, really getting heavy through our seat so we get connected downwards. Another couple of breaths here. Steady breath in and out, that little seed of light or that little cloud of color coming in and down, up and out, or steady breaths. And then the next time we come up, we'll stay. Hands come on the thighs. Any movement you need, there's a whole lot in the upper body. We'll take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Another 2 of those. You can even close your eyes. Last one here. Soften any tension on the exhale. And then if your eyes are closed, they blink open, lift the gaze. And we're going to heel toe those legs out a little wider. Option is to come and slide forward on your chair if you feel comfortable, but above all else, make sure you feel stable. Toes are in line with the knees, so I'm going to try and mess this up. So if my toes are facing forward and my knees are facing out, that means that the stress is in my joints. So we want to keep our trajectory the same through the knees and through the feet. Now, it doesn't matter how wide you have your legs, but stay at a place where it's comfortable for you. And again, all of our external rotation and from side to side is going to feel very different. Wiggle a little bit from side to side. Make sure you feel nice and stable here. Hands on the thighs, knees. You can even turn those palms in, which is what I like to do. And then from there, we're going to start to roll through the rib cage. So if you can see my rib cage, and I'm going to pull this tight, is I'm coming forward with the inhale and the exhale, rolling back. And you can see through my pelvis that I'm rolling from side to side, front and back. So once you have the movement, and it does not have to look like this, we simply allow it to become our own. So that means we turn into the intuition of our body. And if that means we do very little, then if that feels better for you, then fantastic. If it means that you want to get really big into that movement, you can even get your shoulders, your pelvis, your head and neck involved. If any other movement arises, you can do that too. But we stay in one direction to start with. The inhale brings us forward. The exhale draws us back. Inhaling and exhaling. Nicely done. And then at the end of the next exhale, we pause and we go around in the opposite direction. And this may feel very different. Use your hands on your thighs or your knees to allow you to get the freedom of movement that you feel good doing. So inhaling and exhaling. If something is tweaking or it doesn't feel comfortable for you, check out moving a little less. You can even simply stay in stillness and imagine moving. Breath is steady and smooth, just like that little puff of air coming in and down, up and out. And then at the end of one of your next exhales, we're going to come back to center, and here we stay. Take a full breath in. Exhale it out. Nice. We're going to keep this external rotation, and now I am going to ask you to turn your palms inwards. And this will be different in each of our bodies, so just make sure that you feel like you have some stability on the thighs. This is the inhale. On the exhale, we're going to dip the right shoulder towards the center and down. And then you can gaze over the left shoulder. On the inhale, we come back up to center. Left shoulder dips down. Look over towards the right. Once you have the movement, you can start to use the hands to push away the right thigh here as I'm looking towards the left, straightening that arm. I'm going to straighten this arm too. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily locking the elbows, or if that feels more comfortable for you, you can. Notice where you feel this in your body. And make sure that the movement feels steady and easy, just like the breath. You can keep going from side to side, or if you'd like to, the next time you come towards the right, we could stay again. Whatever you're doing with that elbow, make sure it's comfortable for you. We push away the left leg and look over the right shoulder. You've got 3 breaths here. Steady and smooth. Imagine that breath coming in and down, up and out. Stay for the last exhale. And then when you're ready, we come up, go from side to side again. Notice how that feels. And then the next time we come to the left, here we stay. Option to still be in movement, otherwise 3 breaths, maybe gazing over that right shoulder. Last one here. Stay for that full exhale. We're going to come all the way up. Nice. Adjust that external rotation as much as you like to. If you want to come forward, because we're going to move into the hips a little bit more, then you can. I know I like to come forward here. But make sure above all else that you feel stable and secure. Left foot is going to root down. Our seat is rooted and the pelvis is not moving here. We're just isolating into the right hip, hand on the right thigh or knee. Keep the foot down on the floor. You can pop that foot up, coming onto the heel if that feels comfortable for you. And on the inhale, you can manually take your knee out a little bit more, external rotation. Again, the pelvis is staying front and center. On the exhale, we're going to roll that right knee in. And I'm still on the heel of my right foot. Inhaling wide, exhaling down. The left side of your body and your upper body is as still as you can make it. So notice if you're coming along for the journey with your left leg and your torso, and see, even if that means that the movement is less, that you can keep everything else stable. That means we're really isolating into that right hip, inhaling and exhaling. If you have that foot on the floor, you're just simply rolling to the inside and outside of that foot. Keep the movement steady and smooth. Beautiful. We keep it at an easy place. If we're trying to get as far out as we can, we find that we're holding the breath, and we find that sensation gets really loud in the body. So we stay at a place where the body feels safe, and it will naturally open up in its own time, even if it's not necessarily today. Inhaling and exhaling. The more we do this, the more familiar we get with it, the more control we have over it, the more stability and strength we're building in that hip. On that next inhale, the knee comes out. If the foot was raised, it comes down. If you need to adjust that, go ahead. Same thing, other side. So that left hand is on the knee or thigh. You're going to come up onto that heel if you'd like to. If that doesn't work for you, no need to worry about it. On the inhale, the knee comes out, a little more external rotation. On the exhale, down the knee comes. And again, this side may feel very different for you. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you have more or less range of motion in this hip. Honor where you are. The right leg and the torso is staying exactly where it is. So we're really isolating into that hip. If it means that you feel like you can't do this without moving the rest of your body, see if you can do just a little bit less. That means we're really, again, focusing on the left hip rather than getting the pelvis involved, which is what's happening if your right leg is coming with the movement. Slow and steady, easy movement. We always want to feel comfortable in our body, moving in a way that the breath is still that slow and steady breath in and out. That little seed of light coming down and then up in your own time. Next time that knee comes out it's going to stay. We're going to take the foot down. I'm going to draw the feet into center. I'm going to take my chair back a little bit so you can see me. Anybody want a drink? I'm going to take one. And then from here, my chair's sliding a little bit around. Again, make sure you feel nice and comfortable and stable wherever you are. We're going to start with the ankles, and we're going to start to move and strengthen into those hips and down into the knees. So on the inhale, we're going to lift the right foot, left leg is stable. Exhale it down, staying on the right side. Get connected down with the left leg. So as we're lifting up through the heel, doesn't have to be high, exhaling down, we're getting used to the lightness being in the right leg. And if it feels more comfortable for you, you can take the hands on the chair for stability. And then adding on. On the inhale, if you want to, we're going to bring the knee up. On the exhale, we're going to take that foot down, heel comes down. And if this is not sustainable for you, then keep lifting and lowering simply the heel. Inhaling and exhaling. What we want to focus on is that steady movement up and down. So if you're finding yourself heaving it up on the inhale and then dropping it down on the exhale heavily, see if you can do a little less, but keep the movement steady and smooth. So the movement goes along with the breath. We're still rooting down through the left leg, rising up through the spine. So the head, heart, and hips is still over each other. And this is a great place to stay. If you would like to add on, we're going to work with the breath. The next inhale, we lift. And the next exhale, we're going to extend the leg, heel comes to the floor. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling down, staying on the right side. Inhaling, lift, extend, heel comes down. Inhale, lift, exhale down. Just one more on this side. And then we're going to go to the left. Beautiful. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Nicely done. And if you just got tight in that hip, you can do any kind of movement that feels good to you. We'll come to the other side. Right foot roots down. We've got that cloud of breath coming in and down. Up and out on the exhale. On the inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale down. Nice. Keep it steady and smooth. And if this is a great place to stay for you, then stay. Keeping everything else still. Option to lift the knee, foot comes off the floor on the inhale. Exhale, we're taking that back down. Noticing what's happening in the rest of your body. And just like the movement we were doing earlier with the external rotation, the right leg and your torso is not moving, even if that means not taking the knee quite so high. Working with the breath, and if you want to add on, here we go. Inhaling, knee up, exhaling, extend, heel down on the floor. Inhaling up, exhaling, tapping down. Inhaling, exhaling, heel comes down, inhaling up, tapping down. And as we extend the leg, it does not have to be straight by any means, but making sure we get that tapping down of the exhale. We've got one more here. In fact, I think that was one too many. Nice. We'll come up and take the foot down. Again, any movement you need, go ahead just to feel a little more ease. Okay, we're going to go from side to side. If you prefer just focusing on one side of the leg, you can do that and change it up halfway. Otherwise, we're going to go from side to side. Doesn't feel quite so much in one hip, and then we'll add on from there. So we root to rise. We've got the breath, that little cloud of breath coming in and down, up and out of that little seed of light. And then on an inhale, rooting down through the left leg. We inhale the right leg up. Exhale, extend, or exhale, extend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down to the left. Inhale, up. Extend the leg, heel comes down. Inhale, up and down. Nice. Side to side. With your breath, your rhythm. Not mine. You don't have to mirror me at all. And then if you want to add on, the heel doesn't come to the earth. We just extend the leg out, and that can be as high or as low as you like. Inhale, back in. Exhale, down. To the left. Inhale, up. Extend. Hover. Inhale, down. Nicely done. And then if the heel prefers to come to the earth because you get that little break in between the movements, go ahead. If you want to add on, we simply kick the heel out like you're punching through a wall in front of you. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Making sure that the rest of your body is as stable as possible. So we're really strengthening into the hips. Getting a little movement through both the knee and the ankle. Making sure on that extension there's a little flex in the ankle as much as feels comfortable for you. And don't worry if one side is drastically different from the other. Keep the movement slow. We've got another 2 either side. You can always rest. You can always do less. Beautifully done. What feels comfortable for you? If resting feels more comfortable for you, then rest. We've got one more or less. And then when that foot comes down, it's going to stay. And then from there, all we're going to do is widen those knees, come onto the outer edges of the feet, and just notice what's happening in the hips. And then from there, coming back to center, rooting to rise. We've got that breath coming in and down, and then up and out. And then from here, we're gonna take a little bit of external rotation with kind of what we were just doing. Rooting down through the left foot. On the inhale, we come up. Exhale, external rotation. The rest of us is leaning, facing forward. Inhaling up, exhaling down, coming to the left. Inhaling up, out to the side. Hips facing forward. Inhaling up, back to center. It is a controlled movement with the breath. Staying as stable as you possibly can in the rest of your body. And don't be concerned if one external rotation is drastically different from the other or you feel less stable on one side compared to the other. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice. Another few either side. I'm going to take this into a seated tree pose. Inhaling and exhaling. The breath is still steady and smooth. And everything is still. One more on the left side, wherever you are, because we started on the right. And then we're going to lift up that right leg and take it out towards the side, and we're going to keep it there. And then from there, option to stay just where you are, fit to the fully on the floor. Or we can take those toes to the floor, so on the ball of the foot. You can even, depending on your chair, take that foot back so it's resting close to the foot of the chair, so you have some support there. The hips are facing forward, so don't worry about how much external rotation you have. In fact, if that knee comes out so much that you feel the hip swinging, please bring the knee back into center. So we've got this external rotation. You can keep the knee over the ankle there, or you can extend the foot forward a little bit. That gives us a little less stability, but we push into that left foot, and it's almost like we fire up that left leg, just like we would if we were standing. Tree pose. Hands come into heart center. You can keep them on your chair, or on an inhale, we take the arms up and apart. First finger and thumbs come together. Mudra of focus, elbows bent, elbows straight, any which way you like to your tree. Rooting down to rise. Lifting up through the heart. Breathing, that little cloud of breath coming in and down. Slowly up and out. If you like to, you can stay here, you can close your eyes. You can add onto this by hooking the thumbs and drawing the thumbs back. Notice what's happening in your body and where you prefer to be. 2 more breaths here. Nicely done. Stay for the last exhale. If the hands are not already there, we're going to take them down through the center line of the body. And then from there, we're going to take that right leg and draw it in. Nice external rotation, and make sure that the legs come back to a comfortable place. Okay, same thing, other side. Just for a couple of breaths, we're going to lift up through the left, exhale, tap it out. Just because we were still there, we're going to do the same on the right side. And then the next time we come to the left, we're going to keep that leg out to the side. Notice if your hips are coming with you, or if you can square up your hips. Again, depending on the rotation, don't worry about where that leg's coming, as long as the knee and ankle are in line with each other. Everything else facing forward. From here, you can stay there, come up onto the ball of the foot, and you can even take the ball of the foot back so it's in line with the chair if you like. And then the option is to send that right foot forward somewhat, rooting down, and we start to fire up through the right leg. So making this your own. From there, head, heart, and hips are in one line, hands come together. You can stay here, keep your hands on your chair, or any kind of tree that you want. There's a lifting through the rib cage, lifting up through the crown of the head. We're stable from the ground. So we're really rooting into our foundation, which is our feet and then our pelvis, and lifting from there. That same breath coming in and down, steadily up and out. 2 more breaths here. Stay at a place where the breath feels steady and easy for you. Stay for the exhale. And when you're ready, if they're not already, the hands come down and that left leg comes in. And then from there, draw the heels back somewhat, making sure you feel stable. Again, you can make that connection to the chair. Otherwise, we're just gonna sway our knees from side to side. Let the pelvis come along with you here. And you can even look in the opposite direction if that feels comfortable for you. And then from there, sit back into your seat. We are almost done. So making sure you're comfortable, and if you'd like to use the back of your chair, you can do that now. And then I'm going to bend through those elbows, and we're going to circle through those wrists, just like we did in the beginning. The inhale lifts the fingers, the exhale draws them down. And then we'll go around in the opposite direction. And then from there, you're going to bring the hands together. You can have knuckles together. You can interlace your fingers. And then we're going to figure of 8 through the knuckles. And again, wherever you are. And you can take this in prayer. Anything that feels good to you. Notice which direction you're going in. Get it as steady and as smooth as possible. And then at the end of the next exhale, we're going to pause and take that round in the opposite direction. I know for me, it doesn't feel half as smooth as the other direction, and that's kind of the point. So we really circle through the wrists in a figure of 8, getting everything as smooth as possible. And then from there, I'm going to shake out those fingertips. You're going to take your left palm forward and bring all the fingers back from the base of the fingers, all the fingers back with the left hand, and push the right heel of the hand away. I'm going to turn to the side, and your elbow does not have to be straight. I like to lock it just because it feels better and I get more of a connection, but working with a place that feels good for you. Push through the heel of the hands. Nice. We're breathing still. Steady breath in and out. You might feel this opening up through the carpal tunnel. Through the wrist. Nice. And then from there, on an exhale, you're going to release that. And then we'll come to the other side. Left palm turns out. Right fingers, take those left fingers all the way down to the base, like all the way down to the knuckles. And then we're going to pull those back all in one line and push the heel of the hand forward. Again, elbow can be bent or straight depending on what feels right for you. No right and wrong way to be here. Only as much pressure as it feels good for you. You get to decide. This is your practice. Steady, smooth breaths. Then on an exhale, when you're ready, you're going to release those fingers and shake them out a little. And just circle through the wrists in one direction and another, or figure of 8s, and then back in the opposite direction. Shake them out. You can sparkle and make gentle fists, just so we ease into those joints and the fingers. It's the only way we nourish the joints is movement. And then from there, I invite you to come back into your seat, and this is where you really, there we go. We really get to sit back into your chair. And if you prefer to lie down about now, you've got a couch handy, you can do that too. We're just coming into relaxation. So coming to a place that feels comfortable for you. And this doesn't have to look a particular way. Your legs can be however they're comfortable. I often find that it feels comfortable in the body the more symmetrical it is, so you could check that out. Or if there's another way you would like to be, go ahead. We sit back into the support underneath us, whatever that happens to be. Really connect into the sensation of being supported in all those different places. For me, my feet, underneath my thighs and my seat, and the back body. And then we'll take a big full breath in. Exhale it out. You can take 3 more of those, or option. Take a full breath in. Hold at the top of the breath. Soften through the body. Take another sip of breath in. Hold once more. Soften through the body. Take 1 more sip. Hold once more, and on the exhale, we release and relax through the entire body. You can soften your gaze, close your eyes, or simply lower your gaze. I'm not going to be moving, so you don't have to see me. And with that last exhale, we let any manipulation of the breath simply go. Feel that connection to everything underneath you and sit deeper into that, even if that means adjusting and changing the shape of your body. I want you to feel as if your whole body could soften into that support. Any muscle tension you find, allow that to relax as best as you can. And start focusing on those exhales. No manipulation of the breath. The breath is as easy as it can be, as soft and as small as it can be. Little to no effort, but I want you to just listen to the exhales. The exhales are responsible for our relaxation response. Listen to the sound of your exhale. Again, no effort here. Just the sound of that exhale. It almost sounds like a breeze in the trees or an ocean wave coming in and out on the beach. With every exhale, imagine your body could relax even more. Even more every exhale. Muscles of your face relax. Your jaw. From the crown of your head, everything relaxing all the way down the sides and the back of your head. Your jaw and throat inside and out soften, as does the back of your neck all the way to the top of your shoulders. Relaxing, releasing, your shoulders heavy. Upper arms, release. Elbows too. Lower arms all the way down through the wrists and hands. All the way to the pads of your fingers and thumbs. Letting go. From the top of your shoulders, through the upper back and shoulder blades, everything releases. Through the back of the ribs, the lower back, the belly, relax and release. Pelvis is heavy, and the hips soften and release. Relaxing through the legs, your upper legs, knees, joints, lower legs, ankles and heels all the way through the feet to the tip of your toes. Everything easy. And taking that awareness all the way up into your upper torso, chest and heart space. And imagine you could invite an opening into your entire heart space. A softening, a letting go. The mind feels soothed. Things come, of course, but they also drift away. Get a sense of your awareness, simply your awareness in this moment. Not focused on anything in particular, just the noticing, the witnessing. Everything easy, everything soft. Notice the sound of your exhale. No need to change anything. And from here we start to deepen the inhale just a little bit. Exhale out through the mouth, soft and long. And with that slightly more expansive breath, you can stay as you are as long as you like, or we start to take some tiny movements for our fingers or toes, maybe our neck. An intuitive way of starting to awaken the body. Doesn't have to be a particular way, but take your time, notice how you feel. From there, any movements that feel organic to you. And then over the last few moments, we'll find ourselves in a seat. We're finishing just as we started. Rooting down, feeling that connection downwards through the feet, through our seat. From that rooting, we rise. You can take your hands into any gesture that feels right for you today. Whatever is calling you. And we'll take a full breath in. Exhale it out, chin down towards the chest. And take a moment just to acknowledge the last hour you just spent moving, breathing, connecting inwards. Take a big breath of gratitude in for yourself and for just doing everything you needed to be here. Take a big breath of gratitude in for something in your life that simply makes you smile. And take a big breath of gratitude for something in your life that challenges you. From there, I thank each and every one of you for being here, for following along, for doing just as much or as little as you needed today. My name is Tony. I am so thankful that you are here and sharing your energy whenever it is that you're doing this. From my heart to yours, namaste. So, again, thank you very much for being here. I hope that you're feeling a little bit better than when you started. My name is Tony. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. I'm going to turn this off now. Have a great day, evening,